Hello, everybody. It's Daniel here, and welcome to Emotional English Podcast, the podcast where you learn an English language effortlessly, emotionally, fulfilled with energy, and of course, positively. Welcome, everybody. Another day, another chance to learn English. And today, I've prepared another beautiful podcast episode for you guys. The podcast about the moral story, about the mirror of truth, a modern fable about inner beauty. We will discuss what is inner beauty, and I'll tell you a little story with a great moral quality that we are going to learn. And by the way, do you know what is inner beauty in general? Inner beauty, it's something more than just your look, right? It's not how you look like. It's something, what kind of person are you? Are you a good person or are you a bad person? If you look not so good, but inside you're amazing, you're kind, nice person, you have an inner beauty. If you are completely opposite, if you're bitter, if you're not very nice person, so probably you have a lack of inner beauty, and we should do something about it. And before I start our beautiful moral story, I want to say a couple things about my community group on Telegram and WeChat. If you're from China, you can find our community group by Emotional English in Chinese. And then if you are from other places, from Western part of the world, so you can find the Telegram channel where I post the podcast and the content almost every day. And that will increase your productivity with your language learning even better. So if you want to support our podcast, we have a Boosty channel. And if you're from Russia or from the friendly country, you can donate the money directly to my phone number account. So you're very welcome to do so. And of course, if you like and subscribe to our podcast, it means a lot to us. And please do it. Please share this podcast with everyone you know. If you have a friend who is learning English right now, or who is struggling with learning English, just share this beautiful podcast to him, and he will increase his results for sure. So because English, it's all about practice. It's all about a lot of consuming or a lot of consumption of the information, right, in English. So don't forget to do so. Okay, so we're coming back to the mirror of the truth, the modern fable about the inner beauty. And today I will divide our podcast episode into two parts, right? The first part is going to be a vocabulary overview where we will discuss each word separately. I will give you the meaning of the word. I will give you a sentence with this word, like an example, and I will ask you a reflective question related to the word. So we will practice the vocab, and next I will read a little story about the prince and the gardener, where we will discuss a modern fable about inner beauty. And I hope you would love it, and we will have much more fun. And our lesson for today will be pretty successful. Okay, so let's begin from the first part, vocabulary. So I've prepared 7 beautiful words here, and the first word is the word radiant. Radiant, it's an adjective, and classically, if you hear the word radiant, for example, radiant person, this person is shining brightly, looking very, very happy and healthy. So radiant people are very nice people, right? You really want to talk to them because they're radiant, they're very nice, they're good looking, they're just positive and everything. So as an example, I can give you this example. She was not wearing makeup, but her smile was radiant, right? Or you can say Danila is a radiant teacher. So because he's always smiling, he's always laughing during the class, right? And my question to you about radiant, who is the most radiant person you know? Okay, maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your family member, maybe it's your coworker, right? Who is the radiant person you know? Just let me know. Okay, I got this. So what about me? I think the most radiant person I know is my favorite English teacher, AJ Hogue. So he is really radiant person. He's very positive, and I like his approach of learning English. So my podcast had been created thanks for AJ. So he motivated me to start my own podcast about English learning, and a lot of thanks to him. Okay. So, by the way, do you know who is AJ Hogue? It's the guy from USA. It's an English teacher from USA. I remember he had lived in Japan for a while with his family and his wife and 2 kids. And now he is a good father. I think he lives in the US right now. I remember he came back to the US. But, okay. So I want to continue, right? I started the off topic. So let's go back. Radiant person we had discussed. It's an adjective, beautiful adjective. Second word is the word arrogant. It's another adjective, by the way. Arrogant person, right? Who is an arrogant person? Okay, let's just imagine the person who is thinking so much about himself or herself. And this person thinks that he or her or she is more important than other people. So this is an arrogant person. So the arrogant man, for example, refuse to wait in a line with others. So, some people, they think they're better than somebody else, right? So they are arrogant and they looking at everyone like they're not next to them. They think about themselves so big, and arrogance is not a good quality. Okay. My question to you guys, do you like working with arrogant people? For me, I don't. So if I see the arrogant person, I'm trying to ignore this person. I'm trying to not contact with this person at all, because arrogance is a bad quality, right? So I like people who are open-minded, who are welcoming, who are friendly. And arrogance is not the quality. What is about good quality, right? So it's more about selfishness, right? Arrogant people, they are selfish. They think a lot about themselves. But if you want to be friendly, just, try not to be arrogant, right? Try to think that you are like everybody else. And that's going to be your protection from arrogance. All right. Let's go to the third word for today. And the word is selfish. Very close. Selfishness or selfish person goes hand in hand with arrogant person. Yes. So it's another adjective. You describe selfish person because he think about himself a lot, right? So this person only caring about himself or herself, not sharing, and probably a little bit miser, right? Maybe not a little bit, a lot. So miser means, by the way, when you only think about your own money and you don't want to spend your money and time, you're a miser person, Okay, you can call someone a miser. By the way, I need to give you a little example here, right? It is selfish to eat the whole cake and not offer any to your friends, right? So do not be selfish. Share the food you eat. Okay. When was the last time you were a little bit selfish, guys? When was the last time you were a little bit selfish? For example, I remember myself, recently, me and my girlfriend, we bought an ice cream here in China. And to be honest, my girlfriend got sick and I had eaten the whole package of ice cream. It's a Magnum ice cream. It's very delicious ice cream, but I had finished all of that. So I was a little bit selfish, but I know that she doesn't eat ice cream right now because she's sick. She's not feeling well. That's why I think it's pretty okay to eat the whole package of ice cream. I was a little bit selfish. All right. Let's go to the next word. The word is bitter. Bitter, we use this word a lot. For example, you can sometimes hear this about bitter personality as well. But some people like bitter chocolate. Bitterness is the taste. For example, you eat a very dark chocolate, and dark chocolate always bitter. But you can call a person bitter when the person is angry with you or unhappy because of some bad past experience, right? Or many experiences, right? You call them bitter people, right? For example, after losing the man's job, he became bitter and hated everyone, right? The person lost his job and the person became bitter and hated everyone, right? So that's the bitterness. I have one question to you guys. Does holding onto anger make you feel bitter? So, for example, from my side, right, I'm trying to never hold grudges, because when you hold grudges, when you hold this anger, so it make you feel bitter. It make you feel not happy at all. You're trying to become angry at people, and I don't want to be angry. That's the point. Let's go next. The word number 5 for today is the word deceive. Deceive, it's a verb. So, and if you are deceiving someone, you're tricking someone. You are trying to make someone believe you, but in reality, what you're trying to show is not true, right? You're tricking someone, deceiving someone, lying to someone, right? For example, the person tried to deceive the teacher by hiding his phone under the desk, right? So when you're trying to cheat, you are deceiving the teacher. When you are trying to find an excuse why you haven't went for a walk with your friend, you're looking for an excuse. Probably you're trying to deceive your friend, okay? It's not good to deceive people. Try to live without lie, right? Without tricks or trickery. Try to live a normal life. Try to be a good person, because good people never deceive, okay? I have a question here for you guys. Is it ever okay to deceive someone to protect their feelings? You know, sometimes we can say something like a lie to someone just to keep the feelings, or just to keep the relationships in a better condition, right? I would say that deceiving someone to protect the feelings is good, because what the philosophy says, if you lying for good, it creates good. It creates something nice, you know? And I think it makes sense. The next statement, to reveal. So if you're revealing something, you're showing something that was hidden, that something was not open to someone, right? So you can reveal the secret, you know, and this is not good to do. It's better to keep your secrets, right? But, you know, sometimes the curtain opened to reveal the surprise gift during the birthday celebration, for example, right? You can reveal the secret to your best friend, but it's better to keep the secrets hidden, right? Never reveal the secret, guys, okay? But the truth will be revealed, okay? What is the secret you're ready to reveal? Maybe I can answer this question for you guys. I think I can reveal you a secret that I'm coming back to Russia very soon in February, in the beginning of February, right? I'm probably 9th or 10th of February, I'll be in Russia, okay? That's my little secret, and I just revealed you my little secret, okay? So, and the last but not least word for today is the word reflection. Reflection. What is reflection, guys? Look, when you're just seeing yourself in the mirror, that's your reflection, okay? Or you look at the puddle or the water somewhere, right? You see the reflection in the water, right? That's the point. So reflection is the technique that we use to answer the question, right? For example, it's called reflection technique, right? Or I can ask you reflective questions, for example. Do you like what you see in your reflection? That's a reflective question, right? When you answering the question, you understand more information about yourself. Okay. So I think that's the whole list for today. I will repeat the words just to memorize them a little bit deeper. Radiant, arrogant, selfish, bitter, to deceive, to reveal, and reflection. So just one noun, couple verbs, and all other are adjectives. Yeah, maybe I love adjectives. That's why I teach adjectives today. So, and now we will use all of these words in action. We will read the story, 3-paragraph story about the prince and the gardener. That's actually the name of our today's podcast episode. The Prince and the Gardener. It's the name of the mini story. And this mini story is very good story. It's a moral story. And we will learn a lesson in the end of the story. And I will ask you some questions about the story. So just get ready. Okay, as usual, I will read paragraph by paragraph. I will try to simplify something if I see something is hard. And I will just give you a comment every single time while I'm reading, okay? So, and then in the end of my full reading, I will ask you the questions related to the text. You will answer these questions and memorize even more, okay? So that's how we would do this. The Prince and the Gardener. Let's begin. Once upon a time, in a kingdom of glass, lived a young prince named Julian. Okay, imagine the kingdom. Kingdom is the place where people live in the ancient times, right? The kingdom of England, the kingdom of France, right? Or something like this. It's like a country. The kingdom of glass. It's our illusional place, right? Where the young prince Julian lived. Julian was incredibly handsome. He had perfect hair, perfect skin, and expensive clothes. Okay, so Julian was very handsome. It means very beautiful person, right? The man. You call the woman as beautiful, but you call the man as handsome. Okay, he had perfect hair, perfect skin, expensive clothes. But Julian was also arrogant. Okay, some bad things coming up, right, about Julian. So he spent hours staring at his own reflection in the palace mirrors. Oh my goodness, this is, the guy who likes himself so much. He was very arrogant. Who was arrogant? Prince Julian was arrogant. He ignored the poor and only talked to people who looked rich. He was deeply selfish, never sharing his food or his time. Okay, so this person is very egocentric, selfish, arrogant. He never talked to poor people, right? So it means he didn't like poor people. He talked only with people who looked rich, right? The opposite of poor. So he was deeply selfish, never sharing his food or his personal time. Let's see what he's trying to say. I am the most beautiful man in the world, he said. Outside the palace worked an old gardener named Elara. Her face was wrinkled, her hands were dirty, and she looked tired. Julian laughed at her. Laughed at her so much. You're ugly, he said, but Elara wasn't bitter. She just smiled and watered the flowers. Okay, so that's the first paragraph of our story. And as you see, we have a beautiful prince, Julian, who is extremely, what? Arrogant, you're right. The man was super arrogant. The prince was super arrogant, very selfish, and he spoke to his own reflection in the palace mirrors. Oh, what a crazy guy. He ignored the poor people. He only talked to people who looked rich, right? And there was one more character, and I had forgotten her name. Do you remember, guys? Yeah, of course. It was Elara. Elara was an old gardener, right? And she was beautiful or not? No, she was not beautiful, right? Because her face was wrinkled, right? And it's, these lines on your face when you're getting old, you have wrinkles on your forehead, especially on your forehead. Her hands were dirty as well, and she looked tired always. And Julian loved her, or Julian hated her. He hated her because he was always saying, "You're ugly," right? And that's not good. But Elara was bitter, or she wasn't bitter. Yeah, Elara wasn't bitter because she just smiled back to Julian and she just continued watered. She continuing watered the flowers, right? Or she was watering the flowers, just watering the flowers. Okay, so that's the first paragraph. Now we'll go to the second paragraph. I will read it step by step. One day, a magical fog covered the kingdom. Okay, magical fog, it's a special thing, it's a weather condition when you can't see through. It's a fog. Fog kind of blocks your vision while you're driving, right? You see the fog. Foggy weather is kind of when the weather condition changes from cold to warm or from warm to cold and probably from cold to warm, right? And you see the fog. Next day, a mysterious voice spoke from the sky. Only the truly radiant soul may leave the castle. The rest will be trapped in the darkness forever. Okay, only the truly radiant soul may leave the castle. The rest will be trapped in darkness forever. That was the voice from the sky, like a god's voice. Julian laughed. He said, "Easy." And he thought, "I'm beautiful." He tried to walk through the fog. He put on his best crown. He tried to deceive the magic with his handsome face, but the fog did not move. It turned black and it turned cold. Julian screamed. He realized his outer beauty meant nothing. Outer beauty meant nothing. You have inner beauty and outer beauty, right? Outer beauty, it how you look, right? If you look beautiful, it means it is your outer beauty and it looks great. But your inner beauty is not how you look outside. It's how you look inside. It's your interior, right? Exterior is how you look outside. It's outer beauty. Interior, it's how you look inside. It's your inner beauty. And that's the topic, what we discussed today, right? We discuss and we learn some things about inner beauty. So he realized his outer beauty meant nothing, and he was trapped by his own ugly personality. Okay, as you see, we had a problem in the story, right? What was the problem? The magical fog covered the kingdom, right? And that was not just the fog, it was the fog that blocked the vision, blocked the way, and nobody could leave the castle. But if you have a good personality, you could leave the house, right? But was Julian serious about this whole problem? No, first of all, he was not serious. He was saying like, "Oh, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, I'm beautiful," right? And he tried to walk through the fog, but did the fog give him the way? Nah. Prince put on his best crown and he tried to deceive the magic with his handsome face, but it didn't work, right? The fog didn't move and it turned black and cold, okay? So Julian just screamed and he realized that the outer beauty doesn't work. It meant nothing, okay? He was trapped by his own ugly personality, okay? So Prince Julian succeeded. No, he didn't succeed. He failed with the story of the fog. So suddenly, Elara, the gardener, we will continue reading to the next paragraph. Elara, the gardener, walked forward, and she didn't have a crown. She had dirt on her face, but she carried a flower she had grown for a sick child. She walked toward the fog, and instantly the fog began to reveal a golden path. Okay? So Elara, the gardener, walked forward, and the fog instantly began to reveal a golden path, kind of opened the way, a golden path for Elara. The magic saw her heart. It saw she was kind, she never selfish. It saw she was humble, not arrogant. And by the way, what is humble? It's the opposite of arrogant, right? If you have no arrogance, so that means you are, you're a humble person. So it means you're good. So you're not arrogant, you're not selfish. You're a very nice person. In that moment, Elara looked radiant, okay? Very nice, very good, respected. She shone like the sun. Shone, it's like a past tense. She shone like the sun. Julian looked at his reflection in a puddle and saw a monster. You see? So what happened? You see that Elara, the gardener, walked forward the fog, and the fog revealed a golden path. But when the Julian looked at his reflection in a puddle, it's like a little piece of water on the floor, right? It's a puddle. And he saw a monster there, not a good person at all. So, and the prince finally understood. You can paint a trash can. You can paint a trash can gold, but inside it's still trash. So that's a very beautiful statement here. It's like a moral of our today's story. You can paint a trash can gold, but inside it is still a trash can, right? Or it's still a trash thing, right? It doesn't matter. Are you a good looking person? If you're bad inside, it doesn't matter. Nobody likes you and you are not good. You can look good, but your inner beauty is more important than your outer beauty. Interior is much more important than exterior, okay? By the way, talking of English, it's pretty the same. When you talk in English, your inner understanding, right? It means how you understand the language inside. So if you believe in yourself very deeply, it's much better. And I think when you have this powerful inner power, right? Powerful inner power. What I'm saying, buttery butter. When you believe in yourself, when your confidence level is very good, so you can speak nicely. And the biggest problem people have with their English is that they don't believe in themselves. And that's why they look not very nice. The power of inner self, if you will increase this power, you will look great. People will respect you. No matter how you look, no matter how your grammar looks like, people will see your confidence and you will shine. Okay? You can paint a trash can gold, but inside it's still trash can, right? So think about this. If you want to improve your language, think deeply, increase your inner power, and you will speak magnificently, okay? We've finished the whole paragraph, and I guess the whole 3 paragraphs right here, and the whole story had finished. Now we can discuss the content. I will ask you a question. It's a comprehension check. Comprehension means do you understand, comprehend the information, or you don't, right? Try to give me the answer. I know I can't hear you now, but you know what I mean. So just try to give me your answer. Why did Julian love looking at his reflection? Okay, you remember that Julian was not a good person. He loved himself so much. He was what kind of person? Yeah, arrogant, right? He loved himself. He thought that he is the best of the best. He was speaking to his own reflection. So he was very selfish, right? That's why he loved looking at his reflection. He was kissy, missy, pissy, right? He was loving himself so much. Oh my goodness. So second question to you guys. Was Elara bitter when the prince laughed at her? How did she react? How did she react? Of course, she subscribed on Emotional English Podcast and shared the podcast episode with her friend, isn't it? Of course, you can say. Yeah, Elara never bitter, right? She was never bitter because she was answering in a very simple manner. She was just smiling and continuing her work, right? She was doing this. So she didn't react in a crazy way. She didn't cry. She didn't react in a negative way, right? She was just subscribing Emotional English and supporting the podcast and subscribing to all Telegram and WeChat groups. Okay, so let's go to the number 3. Why did the prince fail to pass through the fog? What was he trying to do? As you remember, Prince failed to pass through the fog because he was thinking only about outer beauty. So he never thought about inner beauty, right? And he was always trying to be good looking, but he didn't work with his inner quality. And one question more, it's a deep question, guys. Last but not least question, the story says Julian tried to deceive the magic. Do you think people in real life try to deceive others with expensive clothes and cars? I will give you a couple seconds to think. I think people in real life, bad people or people who are caring too much about outer beauty, they deceive others with expensive clothes and cars. Yes, many people does this. Many people do this, and many, let's say, bad people do this a lot, right? People deceive others with expensive clothes, and they think that the latest iPhone is better than the personality inside. And this is terrible. This is not good. So it's better to never deceive other people, right? It's better to believe in yourself and remember, and always remember, you can paint and trash the trash can gold, but inside it's still trash. Okay. I hope it was useful, guys. I hope we discussed very nicely who is radiant, who is arrogant person, who's selfish, right? I hope you will never be bitter and you will never deceive other people and you will never reveal the secret, but the life reveal a good path to you because you are becoming a greater people and your English will reveal yourself a beautiful path to success. Okay, so let's stay in touch. And if you see, let's say, yourself in the mirror, remember it's your reflection. And if you want to continue improving your language, just listen more. Just listen more. Continue listening. If you didn't understand this podcast episode, just listen it again and again and again until you get the whole picture, right? Because I will try to simplify everything for you guys. And if you missed something, repeat again and you will get this. Try to catch the logic by the context. Okay. That's all for today. It was Daniel with you guys. I'm hugging you all. I'm respecting you all. Thank you for subscribing and sharing our podcast all the places where you share. And I hope you guys have an amazing day and I see you very, very soon. Let's stay in touch and have a beautiful time with your English learning. Bye-bye.